Welcome to another video, the same every time. GCSE Maths, looking at the kind of questions that, apart from the numbers, are the same every time. In this video, in this set of videos, we're looking at standard form. We're going to be trying to do standard form non-calculator, and we're going to be looking at how to multiply, divide, add, subtract numbers that are written in standard form. So in this non-calculator question, we've got 8 times 10 to the power 2 times 3 times 10 to the power 6. Now we've got these brackets in here, but we don't actually need the brackets to do the question. So we can write it again without the brackets. 8 times 10 to the power 2 times 3 times 10 to the power 6. And all we have to do is multiply the numbers together, and we need to then multiply the powers of 10 together. So multiplying the numbers, we've got 8 times 3, so 8 times 3, 24, times by 10 to the power, and it's 10 to the power 2 times by 10 to the power 6, and you'll remember that when we multiply, we add the powers, so that's 10 to the power 8. Now, in a question like this, they will want us to write our final answer in standard form. And we should realize that the answer at the moment is not in standard form, because standard form is some number times 10 to the power some number, but the number at the beginning, so this number just here, has to be between 1 and 10. So we can't have 24 times 10 to the power something, because that would not be standard form. So what we actually need to do is write that 24 as a number between 1 and 10. And the way we can do that is by dividing it by 10 and putting 2.4. So I've divided that number by 10. Now, in order to cancel out the fact that I've divided that number by 10, I need to multiply the other part. So I need to multiply this part by 10 to cancel out my divide by 10. So 2.4 times 10 to the power, and if I'm multiplying by 10, I just increase the power by 1, 10 to the power 9. So in standard form, 2.4 times 10 to the power 9. So all I've done here, I've written it without the brackets, you don't really need them. Multiply the numbers together, 8 times 3, 24, times 10 to the power, well, it's 10 to the power 2 times 10 to the power 6. Multiplying, we add the powers. So adding the powers gives me 10 to the power 8. I can't have standard form with a 24 at the beginning. It has to be a number between 1 and 10, so 2.4. And to get from 24 to 2.4, I divide by 10. And to cancel out my divide by 10, I have to multiply the 10 to the power 8 by 10, gives me 10 to the power 9. So basically, I'm moving the decimal point one place to the left and increasing the power by 1. So here's another exam question. 2 parts to this worth 3 marks. So express 0.000053 in standard form. Well, all we have to do to express a number in standard form is think about where I can put the decimal point to make a number between 1 and 10. So the numbers I've got there are 5 and a 3. So I put the decimal point between the 5 and the 3, gives me 5.3. 5.3 times 10 to the power. Well, that's where my decimal point would be, between the 5 and the 3. How many places do I have to go to get to the real decimal point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm moving to the left, so that's a negative power. So 5.3 times 10 to the power negative 5. 1 mark for that. Now the next one, why don't you pause the video and have a go at this one yourself? 4.5 times 10 to the power 7 times 4 times 10 to the power 5. So you could pause now, have a go at the question, then we'll compare answers. In the meantime, I'll continue. So we need to multiply the numbers together. So 4.5 multiplied by 4. Remember, we'll do this non-calculator. So 4.5 times by 4. Well, 4 multiplied by 4 is 16. And 0.5, 1/2 multiplied by 4 is 2. So 16 plus 2, that gives me 18. So 4.5 times 4 is 18. Times 10 to the power, well, we're multiplying, so we add the powers, 10 to the power 12. Now, as we saw in the last question, we can't have 18 for a standard form number. It has to start with a number between 1 and 10. So the 18 we can write as 1.8. So I've divided my 18 by 10 to make 1.8. So to cancel that out, so I still have exactly the same number, I have to multiply the other part of my number by 10. So that would be 10 to the power 13. Just add 1 to the power if we're multiplying by 10. So 18 times 10 to the power 12, yes, it's the correct number, but it's not written in standard form. So 1.8 times 10 to the power 13. Divide the 18 by 10 and then cancel that out by multiplying the 10 to the power 12 by 10. Here's the next question. Why not pause and have a go and then restart the video and we'll compare answers. In the meantime, I'm going to try this one myself. So we really don't need the brackets for this. 2.5 times 10 to the power 6 times by 8 times 10 to the power 3. Multiply the numbers, 2.5 times 8. So 2.5 times 8. Well, doing all this non-calculator, 2.5 times 8, well, we can do this, I suppose, different method this time. 25 times 8. Do the calculation without the decimal point. 8 times 5, 40. 8 times 2, 16. Add the 4 gives me 20. So 225 times 8 is 200. So 25 times 8, 200. I want a 2.5 times 8. So I'm putting my decimal point one place in, so 20.0. Just 20, isn't it? 2.5 times 8 is 20. You might have remembered that 2.5 times 4 is 10, so two of those, 2.5 times 8, that gives you 20. So 2.5 times 8, that's 20, times 10 to the power, multiplying, so we add the powers. 6 plus 3 gives me 9. Well, as you know, that's not standard form, so we need to put a decimal point to make it a number between 1 and 10. So 2.0 times 10 to the power. I've divided my 20 by 10 to make 2.0, or just 2. So to cancel out my divide by, I must multiply the 10 to the power 9 by 10, add 1 to the power, gives me 10 to the power 10. So 20 times 10 to the power 9, 2.0 times 10 to the power 10 in standard form. Well, do watch the next videos in this particular series because we're going to look at how to divide, and then slightly more complicated, how to add and subtract when we have numbers written in standard form. We'll try to do everything non-calculator. If this was useful to you, then please do go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.